John Stossel went on Fox and Friends to smear homeless people. Stay classy, John.
Not everyone in every organization is worthy of your charity. Some are actually scammers.
I put on a fake beard and tried begging in New York City.
You help me, man?
People gave me money. They gave me money when my cardboard sign said homeless and cold, and they even gave when I changed it to need a beer.
Thank you.
You know, I'm a beer drinker myself.
Yeah, thank you.
When we asked givers why they gave, people said things like this.
I don't know, that guy looked pretty needy, I suppose.
I just begged for an hour, but I did well. If I did this for an 8-hour day, I would have made $90. $23,000 for a year. Tax-free.
So who should you donate to? Let's talk to the guy who is not really homeless. We're talking about Fox Business host John Stossel. John, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Are you suggesting that the people who are begging for money on the streets, we should not give them money?
Yes, and it's not I who am suggesting that. The people who work with the homeless say don't give them money. It's a bad thing. You're an enabler. You're enabling their alcohol or their drug habit. And far better to, if you really think they're for real, and most are not, to try to help them get to one of the social service agencies.
But it's
Yeah, John, most homeless people are not for real. They're all faking it like you did. There's actually some JP Morgan executives out there that put on a fake beard and sat around asking for change. What does that even mean, they're not for real? You don't even believe that. Of course homeless people are actually homeless. What are you talking about? And I love how Fox News, what are they? They're the Republican station, but they're also, almost all of them there are Christians. I mean, John Stossel, to be fair, he isn't. But everybody else on that panel is like, yeah, don't give money to the homeless. Yeah, yeah, great Christians you are. I think Jesus would agree with you on that. Fuck the poor, I believe. What is that, Psalms 42? And then it's only on Fox News that they say, well, the homeless and the poor, they aren't victims, but the real victims are the rich. Pity the rich, don't help out the poor, of course. And I don't get it, man. If you don't want to give to the homeless, okay, actually, let me rephrase that. If you don't want to give to the homeless, I get it, okay? There's a lot of people who do have that concern, well, maybe I'm supporting a problem, or I don't know what they did in their lives, they might be a really bad person, or whatever, okay? I understand that that's a defensible position. But don't try to pretend like that's somehow morally superior to the people who do give directly to the homeless. In fact, I think most people who don't give to the homeless would admit, like, yeah, I know that I probably should give the guy a couple bucks, but I just don't feel comfortable doing it, right? But that's what John Stossel trying to do. He's trying to flip it on its head and say, no. The actual moral, ethical thing is to say fuck you to a homeless person on the street and say you're not going to give them $1 or a few cents. I mean, you're just a bad person if you do that. Sorry, it's morally inferior to not help the person out. And I'll go a step further. Even if a lot of the times you give them money and then they go buy a beer or they go do drugs or something like that. First of all, not all the time they're going to do that. A lot of the time they're going to get a sandwich. Why? Because they're human beings. They have to eat too. They can't survive off of just drinking Colt 45 or injecting heroin. But even if it goes to one of the two, I got no problems with it, man. Look, if there's anybody that it has hit such a low point in their lives. See, this is what a lot of people don't get. Homeless people are actually human. Like, there is a story behind every single one of those people you see on the street. It's not like they were all born homeless. A lot of them had jobs, and then their wife died, and then they had 2 incomes, then they only had 1 income because their wife passed away. Then they got into severe depression. They got laid off from their own job. They lived in their house as long as they could before they were kicked out on the street by the bank. Next thing you know, they're living under a bridge and barely getting by, and they just lost all hope and reason to live. Or, you know, they might have psychological issues, right, where they face severe depression, they can't focus in society, they're paranoid schizophrenics, the system doesn't have enough beds to keep them in psychiatric hospitals or psychological places, right? So these are all human beings who had something happen to them in their lives. So to just dismiss them and say, oh, they make $23,000 a year, what, is that good? Am I supposed to say, oh, man, those guys do well, we should really not pity them at all? That's insanity. And this is what Fox does, man. The demonization of the poor, the demonization of the homeless, it's pathetic. They actually deserve a second chance. They deserve a system that allows them, when they hit rock bottom, we should be funding homeless shelters, we should be funding soup kitchens, we should be trying to give these guys chances in society, whether it's job training programs or etiquette programs, whatever it is. There should be a chance for them. But oftentimes we live in a society where we just put up our middle finger to the most vulnerable amongst us, which again is ironic because 76% of the population pretends to be Christian. Yeah, very Christian of you.